Do we want to get skinned alive, never to be seen again, and get a quick ending? Or do we want to go by bus and actually arrive in town? Let's see if we get skinned alive. Hello everyone, I'm Echo, and welcome to the InnsMouth Case. Now, I've never heard of this game until I found it on sale. And when I looked at it, it was, one, described as a text-based adventure with, frankly, a absolute fuck ton of endings, that you can get, which strongly reminds you in that one game where you could only speak with one of your hands, and it's not even sign language, it's just, like, gestures, and half the time you spend having your gestures misunderstood, and the other half you spend flipping everybody off because they keep misunderstanding your gestures, which ends up with you getting skinned. But that part of it reminds me strongly of it. But this is also described as a H.P. Lovecraft inspired thing, which is inspired sort of situation, which I love. I love H.P. Lovecraft a lot. Any games or shows or movies revolving around his kind of stuff, I have a tendency to watch and enjoy quite a bit. I love his stuff when it's done well. The books, I own a good few of them, just they're kind of difficult to read. Like, no, even compared something like The Gunslinger or something that sort, which is also a difficult book to read, it is just like Mountains of Madness is the only one I've ever finished. Only one I've ever been able to finish, because they're tiring to read. They're exhausting to read. But outside of that, god damn it, I should have already been done with the intro. This looks really, really interesting, and I'm excited to see what the hell happens. I love the art style as well. So, it also kind of reminds me of Call of Cthulhu. What was it? Jesus wept. Thank you for that. I love the art style. Oh, this is locations discovered. Interesting. Okay, let's jump into whatever the hell this is. Boston, Massachusetts, your office. Okay. Oh. Okay, so this a little thing. Wasn't H.P. Lovecraft pretty racist? Considering when I started reading Call of Cthulhu, the N-word was within the first chapter. Yeah, well, I mean, also it can kind of be a straight. Do I want to get in? I'll briefly speak upon that. It's kind of strange thing, because I'm pretty sure back then, a lot of people would just outright kill you or ostracize you if you weren't racist, because you liked them. So I feel like back then, a lot of times, it would be a strange situation of either you get ostracized by everyone, or possibly killed by some extremists, or you just pretend to be racist. I don't know. I don't know if he actually was or wasn't. It can be hard to tell from back then, especially how far back he was, right? Like 1930s, I think? I can't remember. But let's go ahead and jump into it. Also, well, yeah, I don't know why the full thing is there. Okay. So this part I do need to read. Forward. Your progress in this story will be saved at the end of each chapter. There are 35 chapters in total. At the end of a chapter, the screen fades to black and a green save icon. Okay, bottom right. So that's what that means. Recommend you always end the game after such a save point. Make sure none of your progress is lost. Ooh, that's gonna sting for recording. Boston, 21st September. Glass rays of sunshine flitter through. Okay. I probably would have read that before it fully finished in my head, but yeah, let's slow that down just a small bit. The last rays of sunshine filter through the blinds of your empty office. The pathetic stench of whiskey, cold cigarettes, smoke, and canned ravioli fills the air. The screeching tires and constant beeping of car horns out there on the streets tell you that it's gone 8 p.m. People are on their way home, finishing their days. You should join them. Interesting. You decide to stay at your desk or go home. Oh my god, there's gonna be so many decisions like this. This is what this game is, from what I can tell. A lot of this. And it's just so damn cool. Let's go home. What could happen? You breathe a deep sigh. It may not have been a successful day, but at least it's over. You were looking forward to a classic Friday night, watching a mystery series at home in sweatpants and getting drunk on cheap booze. Since early afternoon, you've been staring at the foreboding bottle of liquor at the other end of the room. Up until now, a vague sense of professionalism has kept you from drinking yourself into oblivion. Now, nothing stands in the way. I mean, I feel like you need to fall through like several dimensional tears in reality to be able to end up in oblivion. And I don't think the bottom of a whiskey bottle can do that for you, but to each their own. Jesus Christ, are we just gonna do stuff like that? Suddenly you hear someone at the door. Who is it? The door slowly cracks open with a timid creak. The unknown guest pauses, then in a breathy and melodic. The unknown guest pauses, then in a breathy and melodic tone, you hear a woman utter, "Hello." Your insides cramp. You suddenly realize that you haven't cleaned your office at all this year. It looks pretty clean to me. How much cleaner could it be? Quickly try clean up. Try clean up. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. You shout in a pitch that is at least 2 octaves higher than intended. There's no time to pick up all the crumbled pieces of paper on the floor. You gaze across the total mess on your desk. A weird, undefinable crust has formed on the wood. You never noticed that before. You try to hide it by putting some unpaid bills over them. They get stuck immediately. Nice. Lovely. Okay, love this art style. By the light of the desk lamp, you now see more than a silhouette. A breathtaking woman lights up your office. No doubt older than 40, maybe even 50. Hard to say. Clad in black, a skin-tight dress, culminating in a, décolleté, that seems to define the laws of gravity. Okay. I'm assuming that's the fuzzy thing around her chest. Getting around her chest and back area. I don't know how to pronounce that song. I'm probably gonna have to guess with a lot of this. This is as close to HP's style as I think it is. It's gonna get a little difficult at times. A smoky eyeshadow, as dark as algae washed ashore. Blonde, coifed, wavy hair under a dark, brunette. The faint light of the setting sun catches in the strands of her hair, and you wonder how many heads this woman must have turned during your prime. I can only imagine. She's completely different from your usual customers. Nervous bankers with sweat stains under their armpits convince her why is there something going on with the mailman. Every move she makes is calculated grace. Smooth as a nail, she walks towards you and sits down on the corner of your desk. Ooh, determined, she walks towards you and sits down on the corner of your desk. Ooh. There's so many options. I don't know how I'm going to work through this. There's just so much here. I want to get every ending. Especially the ones involving the occult. Which makes you blush. Let's go down this route. She may be 50, but damn does she still look good. which makes you blush. Never before has a visitor parked their dear ears so skillfully on the corner of this desk. You hope that the cigarette butt the stranger has sat on won't leave any difficult stains. That dress looks expensive, and I haven't the money for any more liquor, let alone fixing that. When she starts talking, her voice is smoky and full of promise. My name is Delilah Marsh. I'm looking for a private investigator. I was told you were one of the best. She extends her hand. You come to the... that's a little too forceful. Let's just go... Ooh. 3 options. I need to keep an eye out for that or I'll miss a 3rd option. You come to the right place, lady. You come to the right place, lady. What can I do for you? You sit back in your chair and fold your hands over your stomach. The woman seems a little irritated that her proactive behavior seems to have had no effect on you. She moves from the edge of the desk and sits down on the chair opposite you. Yes, She clears her throat. As she continues to speak, the smoky seductiveness creeps back into her voice. My name is Delilah. I need help. Ask for more details. Wait, decline? You can just straight up decline? Isn't this how you start the story? Oh my god. There's so much already, and we're only like 15 minutes in. It's about my daughter, Tabitha. She has disappeared. You're pulling out paper and pencil. This is gonna be a walk in the park. A walk in the kidnapped kids park. Well, when did you last see her, and where? The woman puts on a fake smile. We live in InnsMouth. It's a small port town north of Arkham. You frown. This bit vague. What was your child doing when you last saw her? What hobbies does she have? Oh, you know, kid stuff. They just run around and play with their yo-yos, that sort of thing. Yeeting them across the port. Delilah nervously combs her hands through her hair. Does your daughter have any friend? Oh my god, there is so... Why are we suddenly getting 4 options? Like, the number of options I get just keeps going further and further. Does your daughter have any friends? Does your daughter have any friends she might be staying with? Classmates, sports club members, anything like that? Delilah slightly shakes her head. Very strange. You're about to ask if the girl at least had imaginary friends, but you owed back. Damn. Trying to just escorts a kid from the other side of town? Delilah nervously combs her hands through her hair. Okay. Oh my god, there is so many options. Yo-yos? Hold on, yo-yos? Ring ring, can you hear that? It's a... Oh, wait, what? Hold on, yo-yos. Ring ring, can you hear that? It's the 90s calling, and they want their outdated toys back. What? Your office looks like something straight out of the, 1960s. It looks like something out of a detective's film, where a gruff detective would be a day away from retirement before some woman... like this beautiful woman walks in and tells him, I have a case for you. And they will bring you down a rabbit hole of insanity and madness that you can never return from. Screw retirement, there's no existence left for you. What do you mean 90s? What is it, like 2050 where we gone full fucking circle? And we've ended up back in like 1980s style attire? In like the 2080s? Jesus, mates. Delilah blushes. Normally you would find this quite attractive, but the case of a missing child beckons and you're utterly unconvinced by the way this woman pretends to be a mother. Damn! That is cold. Confront her. Something's fishy here. You have a nose for this sort of thing. That's why you became a private investigator, or, to be more precise, that's why you took an online detective course that, for a one-off fee, provided the necessary qualifications. It's time to take your visitor to task. Oh my god, this is so much fun already. Look at her closely. Why did you come to me? Has your daughter really disappeared? Why me? Why someone in... Yeah, why someone in a completely different town have you come to find your daughter who seems to be missing in a town that probably has private detectives? You get out of your chair. InnsMouth is several miles away from here. Why do you want to hire me? I wouldn't even hire myself. Delilah crossed her arms. Suicide by words much? Jesus. Why do you care? Do you want to be paid or not? Charge extra expenses. You clap your hands. Your moment has come. If I'm going on a journey into the unknown, it won't be cheap. You lean in, but I'm sure your daughter is worth a lot to you. With what you hope is a poker face, you peer hard into Delilah's cold eyes. After what feels like an eternity, she nods and pulls a second envelope out of her wallet. You wonder what it was meant for originally. Consider this advance a sign of my confidence. You nod. A missing persons case. Nothing unusual. The conventional little girl runs away from home after reading her first romance novel. Usually they hide at the edge of the forest or in a library. Should be pretty straightforward. Before you can say anything, she drops a photo of the child and a roll of bills on your desk for your expenses. You nod slowly, trying not to drool down the front of your shirt. You haven't seen this much money in ages. Is that actually a thing with private detectives? Like, would the client actually have to pay for, like, I don't know, gas, a bit for car maintenance if needed, like to keep them in a hotel room, or would they have to pay? I don't know. I don't know much about private detectives. Why would I? Is there even any actual private detectives anymore? I guess there kind of are. There's not many, I don't think. Or at least they're not commonly used, I don't think. I don't know. Why would I know these things? Let's just continue. Oh, she left. You don't have much time to prepare. A quick search reveals the only one bus going to InnsMouth, and only once a day. A pattern emerges in your research. A few new items related to this little coastal town are all about missing persons. Interesting. In addition, you find some rather old-fashioned articles that praise the coastal town as a secret holiday destination. The best fish, untouched beach, okay, I don't know that word. Promenade, whatever. Authentic fishing people are the recurring buzzword. Authentic fishing people, keep that in mind. Delilah has given you the address at which you're supposed to drop off her daughter as soon as you find her. She also wrote down her phone number on the child's photo. You take another look at the picture before you pack your things. Damn. Okay. The next morning you travel by bus. Do we want to get skinned alive, never to be seen again, and get a quick ending? Or do we want to go by bus and actually arrive in town? Let's see if we get skinned alive. Hey, that's the end of chapter 1, because it did the save thing. I love this. I love this so much. Oh, I didn't read. It's September 22nd. I love the change in music. Your fingers gently stroke the banknotes inside your coat. As you leave your apartment at dawn, only over your dead body will you waste this money for actual expenses. You never had a good experience with public transport, so you decided to give hitchhiking a go. Wait, you understand you're gonna get skinned alive if you go down this route, right? Like, have you ever actually been hitchhiking? Hitchhiking's just a stupid thing in general. You'd be better off walking. At this time, you usually still roll around in bed, restlessly for another 2 hours or so. Sounds like me. Hey, God, I love this. I am terrified of the Cthulhu pentagram thing constantly staring at me. Actually, no, that's not a pentagram. Right? Because a pentagram has 6 points, right? You are at a park and ride area, which is located at an intersection of 2 county roads. This is where students and low-income earners meet to share their fuel costs for a long trip, and you often see nomads and vagueboards trying to catch a free ride. You're confident you won't be put in the last category, at least not today. Low clouds hang in the Boston sky. The air is gray, cold, and wet, and the progress of your mission depends on the charity and compassion of strangers. Your mood is optimistic. With that amount of money in our pocket, we damn well better be optimistic, unless we already know what's coming. You've got a good feeling about this. Your secret is to make a good impression so as not to scare away any potential opportunities. It's best to hide your true character until you're in the car. I feel like you should just hide your true character until you're not in the car with the person and you're at your destination. This is definitely going to work, you confidently say out loud. People close to you give you some worried looks. A little girl whose family has just parked their fully loaded van points wordlessly at you. Her mother takes note of you and turns up her mouth. Look, Mom, a poor person. The little one finally delivers her verdict cheerfully. Wow. Ow, that hurts. Like, just because we're a sloppy drunk, wearing a shabby trench coat with probably a stained wife beater, doesn't mean we're poor. Just means we have a shitty life. Poor, that's really an exaggeration of the facts, and on top of that, rude. That too. Explain to the little girl the difference between being poor and being a freelancer. Threaten to beat her up? Ignore her. Yeah, let's beat up a little kid. You lift your hand threateningly. I'll show you what it feels like to look poor in the face. You hiss towards her, and regret it immediately. Before you know it, her mother comes to the rescue and covers her child's ears, her eyes staring daggers at you. What? The little girl asks, confused, and gropes for her ears. You really are a disgrace to expose my little darling to such low puns. Poor in the face? What is that even supposed to mean? Ugh. Hold on, wait. These parents aren't mad about this mother isn't mad about the fact that I just threatened to kick her child's face in and cave her skull. She's mad about the fact that we used such a poor pun. Poor in the face, whatever I don't even know what that means. Are you drunk? Are you drunk right now? Am I working with a drunk man threatening to beat up little kids? Your mouth is getting dry. To evade further conflict, keep threatening. Keep threatening. Let's do this. That means I'll teach your stupid kid manners if you don't, you say, weighing your fists. A stabbing pain freezes you in your pose. Little girl has given you a surprisingly firm kick against your right shin. You lift a leg to reveal it's a little. When you put your weight back on your leg, your knee gets out and you tip over like a sack of potatoes. You land on the rough asphalt and the child laughs cheerfully. Well done, honey. You always have to stand up to bad people. Otherwise, they think they can get away with anything. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is what I'm working with? You get kicked in the knee by a child and you fall that easily? You've got to be joking me. You've got to be pulling my chain. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? This is what I'm working with to go up against the occult? What are you gonna do if they kick you in the nuts? Explode? Like fucking, the one guy from Jumanji who ate cake and exploded. Kevin Hart, right? Kevin Hart played that character, I think. Oh my god. Yes, mommy. A tiny shoe kicks the pit of your stomach. You've earned yourself some ice cream for that. The mother praises her brutal child. Damn! You just got the shit beat out of you by a kid! I want vanilla is the last thing you hear before three car doors close. The engine revs. You're lucky the family decides to leave before the little girl can completely destroy you. What the fuck, man? What am I working with? That's when you think, damn it, you could have asked them to give you a lift. Oh, you fucking twit. You lie in the dirt for a little longer, pondering your situation while your pain slowly fades. You think about trying to hitchhike while remaining in this position, but you come to the conclusion that it might not appeal to potential fellow travelers that you're lying so closely to dog droppings. Ow. Damn, that hurts. Your thoughts roam. Karma? Vanilla? How boring and unimagined do you have to be to wish for vanilla ice cream when you're in a real ice cream parlor? This girl sucks and is unimaginative. You like the thought you thought she would be. Your shin stings when you try to get up. After the 6th attempt, you manage not to collapse again. You brush the dirt off your coat. Hopefully no one has witnessed this spectacle. It's time to consider the options. 3 other hitchhikers have positioned themselves at the exit of the parking lot. A student couple, and a punk with a towel around his shoulders. Every now and then, a car stops and the driver winds down the windshield. And the driver winds down the windshield. What? Every now and then, a car stops and the driver winds down the windshield to have a few. Winds down the windshield to have a few words with it. You mean the window? What do you call? Is that what they used to call just like the windows of a car? A windshield, like the front bits? Really? You just made me look like a fucking idiot with that, you prick. You join them, position yourself somewhere further apart from them. Oof. Do we want to get to InnsMouth today or next year? Or do we want to go get beat up by another kid? Join them. The people seem to be experienced hitchhikers. Maybe you can learn from them. Hey, you call to the couple, hesitantly, waving your hands. Hey, says the one. Hey, says the other. There you go. Where are you heading? Where are you heading? Where are you heading? You ask the others. The young couple exchange insecure looks. It's Springfield. Is that a reference? I feel like that's a reference. The woman mumbles without looking you in the eye. The two are probably not prepared for conversation with other travelers. The punk ignores you. He has already flagged down a car and is talking to its driver. He disappears in the passenger door. Stand at the edge of the parking lot and stick out your thumb like a hitchhiker. Just act normal. Throw yourself into a provocative pose. What the hell? One leg sticking out of the trench coat, angled suggestively, your hand on your hips. That's how you present yourself to passing cars. Fiery but not easy, an uncut diamond on the roadside. The young couple looks over at you and their eyes widen. Admiration, you're quite certain, and a pinch of envy. You challenge your glances and move your leg back and forth. What the hell am I working with? What is this? Why? Why have I gone down this route? She slowly raises her hands and covers her mouth. He bites his lower lip softly. A horn pulls you back into reality. An old VW bus stops next to you. The car is sparkling and is sprinkled with peace symbols. So hippies. Wait. There was a woman and a guy. The punk left. Oh. Maybe we can get his number? The driver winds down his window. Why did you call it a window this time and a windshield before? Be congruent with, not congruent, stick with what the fuck you say. If you're gonna call it a fucking windshield, call it a fucking windshield, or I'm gonna shove a windshield up your ass sideways. And green smoke escapes the car. Hi, hippies. Hi, hippies. Hot moods, wow, the driver laughs in a rough voice. You stare into the face of the modern hipster, or is he a surfer bro, after all? Hard to say. A complicated and at the same time messy man bun, paired with a aceless hippie shirt. Hesitantly, you examine your first option since forever. I'm Loney. The man grins at you warmly. Loney? That's your name, Loney, or is that just a name you give him? Hello? You wonder if he can actually see you through the wild curls that still cover his face. Are you going to InnsMouth? I just noticed the drugs won like 2 seconds beforehand. Are you going to InnsMouth? Loney clapped. Okay, so he's Loney. What's our name then? Loney clapped his hands on the side of his bus. Sure thing, my surfboard and me, we can't wait. Loney leans further out the window. The cloud of smoke rising behind him suggests that his seat is on fire. What's the deal? In or out, man? Good question. Join him. I like Loney. I'm in, you answer, and Loney's grin becomes even wider. Whew. Let's get going. Sprint around the bus. Loney has already opened the passenger door. A few cans of orange lemonade clutter on the asphalt and drop in front of your shoes. You pause for a moment, take a look at all the trash inside the minibus. It takes some serious commitment to mess up your car like that. This guy was a real expert at being messy. You wonder what to put in your briefcase. Where to put your briefcase. What does your briefcase even have in it? What the hell did you have to need to bring with you that you couldn't just carry in your coat? Clothes, I guess. I didn't think about that. I'm thinking about like fucking the detective, not Booker. I always called him Booker. DeWitt. No, DeWitt's still Booker. The guy from Call of Cthulhu. I was thinking about him always wearing that fucking coat and same clothes. Between the crumpled slips of paper under the passenger seat, that's a rotten tomato plant in the storage room. Rotten tomato plant in the storage room? I don't think that's a tomato plant. On top of the unwashed clothes behind the seat. Under the passenger seat. You stow away the bag and try to wipe off the transparent film of slime that now sticks to your hands. Loney makes a train driver arm gesture. Choo-choo, let's roll. He pushes down the gas pedal and the bus starts moving. Nervously, you watch Loney play around with the control knob of his old car radio while you approach a junction. But, maybe intentionally or maybe just by chance, the traffic light turns green just in time. The bus drives on at a steady pace, and the cars in front of you start moving just in time, so Loney doesn't run into anyone. Cozy, just enjoy the ride. I mean, honestly, one, I'm not gonna reprimand him, because, frankly, do we really care? Do we want to risk ending up on the side of the road at this point? We got beat up by a little girl already. We have absolutely flummoxed a freaking chance with a beautiful woman. And now we are in a dirty hippie van with a high hippie at the wheel. Like, do we want to risk not getting to InnsMouth at this point in time? Just enjoy it. For now. You sit back and relax. A turbine engine of a crashing airplane could fall on you at any moment, or you could choke on a piece of vegan chocolate. Life is too short to worry constantly. Loney has finally found a station with 90s punk rock that he likes. Time flies. Despite various distractions, some of which having to do with his therapy, Loney managed not to cause an accident and somehow seamlessly wades into other traffic. Damn. The air in the car is stuffy and makes you sleepy. For the first time in many months, you feel relaxed, and you are sure everything is going to be fine. If you give your best on this job, there is a natural chance that you will find the girl, bag the money, and emerge as the hero of the story. My guy. You have me at control. I've driven Min to madness. Simply because I'm curious about the occult. Do you think I will not do the same to you? It would drive you down the hole of madness that's never ending and has no way out. No end, no beginning, nothing. You will be in a constant circle of madness and torment until we finally find something to give me a clue as to what's truly going on here. So what brings you to InnsMouth, man? Holiday? Only tears you out of your dreams. Okay, so he's talking to us now, interesting. I just thought this reminds me of Air Marty as well. Very much like that, with just so many endings and such strange situations. Mention your mission? Lie. Let's not mention anything about what we're doing, especially the money. Vacation? Exactly. I love the sea and shabby villages that nobody ever heard of before. One of these hands slammed down on the dashboard. You got it, man. The beach, the sea, the waves. I can hardly wait. InnsMouth is supposed to be this total insider trip. Just like Finland used to be. Insider tip? Well, super secret. So secret, in fact, that I don't even remember how I got the info in the first place. He rubs his double chin. I think I was in an online forum and somebody was praising InnsMouth as if it were paradise on earth. Not a soul, high waves, and a perfect beach, all to yourself. Interesting. This matched up with your own research. Pretty much all the information you could gather about the small coastal town was about the beach, fresh sea air, and fish delicacies. Apparently this has lured quite a few surfers into the town, who now advertise the sleepy nest on the internet. Ooh, that does seem good. You let yourself sink a little deeper into the upholstery. Upholstery. Okay, yeah, upholstery. Slowly but steadily, the bus chugs through the countryside. Not the fastest, but definitely a cost-effective way to move around. And the best thing, Loney hasn't mentioned anything about sharing the gas money yet. You've hit the jackpot. With these blissful thoughts, you drift into a light sleep. And that is the end of chapter 2. For right now, I'm gonna end this episode of the InnsMouth Case here. I think I'm probably gonna do about 2 chapters per episode. I know there's 35 you have to go through 35 chapters before you get to some conclusion. I get that, but I've been recording for like 40 minutes. Like, I can record for a bit longer, but considering we just started another chapter, each chapter seems to be about 20 or so minutes long, give or take how long I spend screwing around trying to figure out how to say words. This probably is going to be a series that goes on for a while. I can imagine it would take a good few. I can imagine some chapters will probably end up being shorter than others. In general, I really don't know. And it also depends how deep into interactions I go. That can probably change how long things are, but honestly, this is so much fun. I'm loving it. I'm loving the music. I'm loving the reading. I'm loving the characters. I'm loving all of it. I'm loving this simple setup for it. It's just so interesting. I'm curious if it's going to change at all as we go. But for right now, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of the InnsMouth Case. If you did, think about leaving a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Other than that, be good, be well. I'll see all of you in the next one. Goodbye.